Hey guys, tonight we're going to travel back in time, far away from your comfy bed and the hum of your modern life. Imagine for a moment, you're not here, snuggled under a duvet. Instead, you're waking up in a vast, open landscape, the chilling pre-dawn air seeping through the felt walls of your gur. That's what they call a yurt, by the way. You can almost feel the rough wool of your sleeping mat beneath you, and the earthy scent of smoke and animal hides fills your nostrils. Outside, the endless Mongolian steppe stretches out, silent save for the distant bleating of sheep and the whisper of the wind. You might think, oh, a cozy little adventure. But let me tell you, you probably won't survive a single week out here without a severe case of frostbite or an unfortunate run-in with a very large, very hungry wolf. It's a harsh world, but one filled with its own unique rhythm and peace. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Let me know where you're listening from and what time it is for you. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. As the first sliver of dawn paints the eastern sky a pale, dusty rose, a subtle shift begins within the GR. You're not being woken by a shrill alarm clock. No, your alarm is the soft stirrings of your family, the creak of the wooden frame, and the growing light filtering through the tonneau, the crown wheel at the top of the yurt. This central opening, often beautifully carved and painted, isn't just for light. It's a symbolic connection to the sky, the heavens, and the spirits. You might feel a gentle nudge from your mother or grandmother, a silent invitation to rise. There's no rushing, no frantic scramble for coffee or a morning scroll through your phone. Life here moves at the pace of the sun and the needs of the herd. The air inside the gur, though warmer than outside thanks to the dying embers of last night's fire, still carries a noticeable chill. You pull your thick, felted blankets tighter for a moment, savoring the last vestiges of warmth before you have to brave the cold. One of the first things you notice is the sound of deep, rhythmic breathing from around you. Several generations might sleep in this single gur, arranged in a traditional pattern, the eldest at the back, facing the door, and the younger family members closer to the sides. It's a collective awakening, a gentle transition from the unconscious world of dreams to the tangible realities of the steppe. You might hear the quiet clink of metal as someone stirs the coals in the small, central stove, a crucial piece of furniture that provides both warmth and a cooking surface. Historians still argue whether the invention of the portable yurt, or gur, truly originated with the Mongols or was adopted from earlier nomadic groups, but its efficiency and adaptability were undeniably perfected by them, allowing their rapid expansion across continents. It's a fascinating thought, isn't it? This simple, circular dwelling, so often underestimated, was the architectural backbone of one of history's greatest empires. Your eyes, still heavy with sleep, begin to adjust to the dim light. You might notice the intricate patterns woven into the felt rugs covering the floor, or the colorful tapestries adorning the walls, often depicting scenes of nomadic life, animals, or geometric designs. These aren't just decorations. They're expressions of culture, stories told through wool and dye. The air gradually warms as fresh fuel, perhaps dried dung, a surprisingly efficient and clean-burning fuel source out on the treeless steppe, is added to the stove. You hear the crackle and pop as the flame takes hold, and the comforting scent of wood smoke begins to fill the space, pushing back the lingering chill. It's a reminder that warmth and sustenance are never far from the mind in this environment. You stretch, feeling your muscles protest slightly from a night spent on a relatively firm surface. No plush mattresses out here. The first task of the day, even before stepping outside, is often a symbolic one. You might witness an elder performing a small offering, perhaps a few drops of fresh milk flicked towards the tonneau as an offering to the spirits of the sky and the land, or to the ancestors. It's a quiet moment of reverence, a recognition of dependence on forces greater than oneself. This simple act underscores the deep spiritual connection the nomadic people have with their environment, a bond that is both practical and profound. There's no grand temple, no ornate shrine. The entire steppe is their sacred space. And speaking of sacred, do you know why they always enter a gur by stepping over the threshold with their right foot first? It's not just a quirk, It's an ancient custom believed to bring good luck and show respect to the dwelling and its inhabitants. Forget about knocking on wood. This is the original good luck charm. As the light outside grows stronger, you can discern the faint outlines of the surrounding landscape through the open door of the GR. The sky is a vast, unending dome, often a brilliant, startling blue, unmarred by city lights or pollution. The silence is profound, broken only by natural sounds, the wind, the animals, and the quiet murmurs of your family. There's a sense of limitless space, a feeling that you are just a tiny speck in an enormous, beautiful world. And in that vastness, you begin to understand the importance of your gur, your mobile home, your sanctuary. It's a testament to human ingenuity and resilience, a structure perfectly adapted to a life of constant movement. It's the perfect blend of practical engineering and spiritual symbolism, designed to withstand the harsh elements of the steppe while providing a comforting, familiar haven for its occupants. As the gur slowly warms and the aroma of wood smoke thickens, your focus shifts to the immediate needs of the day, particularly those outside. You hear the lowing of cattle and the gentle bleating of sheep, their calls a subtle reminder that their welfare is paramount. Your family stirs with purpose, each member knowing their role without a word needing to be spoken. This morning ballet of domesticity begins with a crucial task: milking the animals. It's not just about breakfast, it's about survival. You pull on your deal, a traditional Mongolian tunic-like coat, thick and warm, made from sheepskin or felt, perfect for the steppe's often brutal temperatures. It's practical, durable, and surprisingly stylish, if you ask me. Imagine trying to get through a Siberian winter in your favorite hoodie. Not a chance. Stepping out of the gur, the cold hits you with a bracing clarity. The air is crisp, clean, and carries the faint, earthy smell of damp soil and animal. Your breath puffs out in white clouds as you make your way to the herd, which has spent the night huddled together for warmth. You might be sent to gather the milking cows, their udders full and heavy. It's a rhythmic process, squatting low beside the animal, the warm milk squirting into a wooden pail. There's a certain intimacy to it, a connection to the very source of your sustenance. This isn't just a chore, it's a foundational act of nomadic life, repeated day in and day out. Historians still debate the precise origins of milk domestication, but for the Mongols, it was a cornerstone of their diet and culture, providing vital calories and nutrients in a landscape where agriculture was often impossible. While some are milking, others are preparing the morning's fuel and water. Water is a precious commodity on the steppe, often fetched from a nearby stream or melted from ice in winter. You might see a younger sibling heading out with a large bucket, perhaps a little reluctantly, knowing the biting cold that awaits. Meanwhile, someone else is gathering dried animal dung, or argol, which is the primary fuel source. Now, before you wrinkle your nose, remember this: it burns hot, clean, and doesn't produce much smoke, making it ideal for the enclosed space of the GER+. It's readily available, unlike what in this vast, treeless expanse. It's a wonderfully efficient and sustainable resource, a testament to the ingenuity of adapting to your environment. You'd be surprised how much heat a few well-placed patties can generate. It's truly the original eco-friendly fuel. Back inside the gur, the stove is now roaring, a comforting orange glow emanating from its sides. The first task for breakfast often involves boiling water for tea, a staple drink. But not just any tea. Mongolian tea, or sutee tsai, is traditionally made with milk, a pinch of salt, and sometimes even a little roasted flour or rice. It's thick, nourishing, and incredibly warming, designed to provide sustained energy for a long day of herding. You watch as your mother or grandmother expertly stirs the concoction, the aroma of the salty tea filling the gur, a much more savory scent than the sweet, milky tea you might be used to. It's an acquired taste for sure, but once you try it, you'll understand why it's so vital. It's practically a meal in itself. Beyond the initial milk and tea, the morning meal often involves some form of dried meat, perhaps mutton or goat, preserved from a previous hunt or slaughter. It's tough, chewy, and packed with protein, perfect for a physically demanding lifestyle. You might gnaw on a piece, your teeth working hard to break it down, a far cry from the soft cereals or toast you're used to. Every bite is earned, every calorie appreciated. This reliance on animal products, from milk to meat, reflects the fundamental relationship between the nomads and their herds. These animals are not just livestock, they are life itself, providing food, clothing, shelter, and even fuel. As the morning progresses, the light inside the gur brightens, illuminating the practical items that make up your home. Felt chests for storing clothes and valuables, wooden shelves holding bowls and utensils, and perhaps a small shrine with Buddhist images. Reflecting the widespread influence of Tibetan Buddhism, everything has its place, designed for both portability and function. There's no clutter here. Every item serves a purpose, a lesson in minimalist living long before it became a trend. You might notice the precision with which everything is organized, a necessity when your entire home can be packed up and moved in just a few hours. This is not just a dwelling, it's a mobile, self-sufficient ecosystem. The gentle sounds of the family preparing for the day fill the air, the soft thud of felt, the quiet clinking of utensils, the low murmur of voices. There's a quiet efficiency to it all, a deep understanding of shared purpose. Even the youngest children have their roles, perhaps fetching small items or helping to tend to the fire. This communal effort ensures that the day starts smoothly and everyone is nourished and ready for the tasks ahead. It's a stark contrast to the often isolated, individualistic morning routines of modern life. Here, every morning is a collective endeavor, a silent symphony of family working together. With the milking done and the morning chill slowly retreating, it's time for the first real meal of the day, a communal gathering within the warmth of the GR. The low, round table, called a sherdeg, is brought out and placed in the center. Everyone settles onto thick felt mats around it, a quiet hum of expectation filling the space. The steaming suti tsai is poured into small, handleless bowls, its savory aroma mingling with the faint smell of dried meat. You take a cautious sip. It's surprisingly rich and fortifying, a far cry from the sweet, sugary teas you might be accustomed to. It warms you from the inside out, a crucial beginning to a long, active day on the steppe. This isn't just about sustenance. It's a moment of togetherness, a reinforcing of family bonds. You observe the quiet hierarchy of the meal. Elders are served first, a sign of respect deeply ingrained in Mongolian culture. Children wait patiently, learning from a young age the importance of humility and deference. There's no frantic rush, no bickering over portions. Everyone eats what they need, savoring the simple flavors. The main course, if you could call it that, is often borts, the dried meat you encountered earlier. It's incredibly light and compact, making it ideal for nomadic life, and it can last for months, even years, without spoiling. Think of it as the ultimate jerky, but with a much longer shelf life and a more fibrous texture. It's a bit like chewing on very well-seasoned leather, in the best possible way. Alongside the borts, there might be arrowel, dried curd or cheese, often shaped into small, hard bricks. This tangy, chewy dairy product is another staple, providing calcium and protein. It's an acquired taste, for sure, and your jaw might ache after a few pieces, but it's remarkably refreshing and provides a good counterpoint to the saltiness of the tea and meat. Historians still argue about the exact origins of cheesemaking, but the Mongols perfected the art of drying dairy products to withstand long journeys and harsh climates, transforming perishable milk into a transportable and nutrient-dense food source. It's a brilliant example of culinary innovation born out of necessity. Sometimes, if there's fresh milk left over, you might enjoy a bowl of kormag, a slightly fermented mare's milk, or arag, a more strongly fermented version. Arag has a low alcohol content and a slightly sour, effervescent taste. It's incredibly nutritious and hydrating, especially important in a dry climate. You watch as a family member demonstrates the traditional way of churning the mare's milk, often using a large leather bag suspended from the gare's roof. They repeatedly pound and agitate the milk, a rhythmic motion that can go on for hours, transforming the fresh milk into this unique beverage. It's a testament to patience and perseverance, and perhaps a good arm workout too. During the meal, conversation is usually subdued, focusing on the day's plans or observations about the herd. There's an economy of words, perhaps a reflection of the vast, silent landscape outside. But every now and then, a gentle chuckle might break the quiet, a light-hearted comment about a clumsy lamb or a particularly stubborn yak. This isn't a time for boisterous chatter. It's a moment of calm before the physical demands of the day begin. You might learn a bit about the weather patterns or the quality of the grazing lands, vital knowledge for a nomadic family. It's practical talk, infused with the wisdom of generations who have lived and thrived in this very environment. After the meal, everyone helps clear the table, returning the bowls and utensils to their designated spots in the felt chests. The gur quickly transforms back into a living space, free of clutter, ready for the next activity. This efficiency is crucial, as the gur itself might need to be packed up and moved later in the day, a process you'll soon experience. The ease with which these daily transitions occur is remarkable, a testament to a life lived in harmony with the land and its rhythms. There's no waste, no excess, just what is necessary for survival and comfort on the move. You might notice small details, the way the light changes as the sun climbs higher, illuminating different parts of the gur, the comforting warmth radiating from the stove, the quiet companionship of your adopted family. These small observations weave together to create a rich tapestry of daily life, far removed from the hustle and bustle you're accustomed to. It's a slow, deliberate pace, designed not just for efficiency, but for a deeper connection to the present moment. You're not checking your phone or worrying about emails. You're simply existing, part of a timeless rhythm. And that, my friends, is a kind of peace that's hard to find in our modern world. With breakfast settled and the internal warmth of the gur established, your attention now turns outward to the very heart of nomadic life, the herds. This isn't a leisure activity, it's the core of your existence. You grab your riding crop, maybe a lasso, and step back out into the bracing morning air. The sun is higher now, casting long shadows across the undulating plains, but the wind still carries a bite. Your immediate task is to guide the livestock, perhaps a mix of sheep, goats, horses, and yaks, to fresh grazing grounds. This isn't just about letting them wander. It's a careful, almost intuitive process of understanding the land. You mount your horse, a creature as essential to Mongolian life as the gur itself. These aren't the pampered show ponies of Western stables. They are hardy, self-sufficient animals, bred for endurance and perfectly adapted to the steppe. They are your legs, your transportation, your partner in herding. As you swing into the saddle, you feel the familiar creak of the leather, the warmth of the horse's coat beneath you. There's a particular way Mongols ride, leaning forward, almost becoming one with the horse, a natural extension of their will. Historians still argue whether the invention of the stirrup, so crucial to cavalry warfare, truly originated in Central Asia, but its widespread adoption by nomadic peoples like the Mongols revolutionized horseback riding and warfare across Eurasia. You begin to ride, not with a frantic energy, but with a steady, purposeful gait. The sheep and goats, ever eager for new forage, begin to spread out, their soft bleating echoing across the vastness. Your job is to keep them together, to guide them towards the lushest grasses without letting them stray too far or get lost. This requires a keen eye and an understanding of animal behavior. You learn to read their movements, to anticipate where they want to go, and to gently nudge them in the right direction. It's a subtle dance between human and animal, a partnership built on generations of shared existence. You might find yourself riding for hours. The only sounds the rhythmic thud of your horse's hooves, the rustle of dry grass, and the occasional call of a distant bird of prey. The landscape is deceptively uniform. Endless rolling hills, vast plains, punctuated by occasional rocky outcrops or small, winding streams. But beneath the surface, it's a tapestry of diverse vegetation, and finding the best pasture is key to the health and productivity of your animals. This intimate knowledge of the land, passed down through oral tradition and practical experience, is what distinguishes a skilled nomad. It's like having a mental map of every blade of grass, every hidden water source. Periodically, you'll stop to dismount and check on the younger or weaker animals, making sure no one has fallen behind or gotten separated. You might gently prod a lagging lamb or guide a stray goat back to the flock. It's a job that requires patience and a deep sense of responsibility. These animals are your livelihood, your extended family, and their well-being directly impacts your own. There's no modern veterinary care out here, just centuries of accumulated wisdom on how to keep the herd healthy. You become an amateur vet, a shepherd, and a guide all rolled into one. You might encounter other nomadic families or solitary riders in the distance. A wave, a shared glance, a brief exchange of news about grazing conditions or recent weather. These encounters are brief but meaningful, reinforcing the sense of community that stretches across this immense land. It's a silent network of shared survival, where everyone understands the challenges and rewards of this unique way of life. There's no awkward small talk, just essential information exchanged with a nod and a shared understanding. One quirky tidbit you might observe is the way a skilled herder uses their voice, almost singing to the animals, a low, guttural sound that seems to calm and direct them. It's not a command, but a communication, a way of building trust. It's truly mesmerizing to witness, a language understood universally by the herd. You might even try it yourself, though you'll probably sound more like a confused yak than a seasoned herder. But hey, practice makes perfect, even with animal vocalizations. The vastness of the steppe can feel overwhelming at first, an endless expanse of sky and land. But as you ride, you begin to appreciate its subtle beauty. The shifting colors of the grasses, the way the light plays on the distant hills, the incredible sense of freedom that comes from having such an unobstructed horizon. It's a powerful reminder of how small you are, and yet, how connected you are to this ancient landscape. The simple act of herding becomes a profound meditation, a moving journey through an unchanging world. As the sun climbs higher and the herds graze contentedly, a new, yet familiar, task looms on the horizon, moving the jar. This isn't a whimsical decision. It's often dictated by the needs of the animals, finding fresh pastures, or perhaps anticipating a change in weather. The entire process is a marvel of efficiency and communal effort, a testament to centuries of nomadic ingenuity. You begin to ride back towards your current gur, a dot on the vast landscape, already anticipating the flurry of activity that awaits. As you approach, you see family members already beginning the initial stages of preparation. There's no wasted motion, no frantic shouting. Everyone knows their role. The first step, surprisingly, often involves dismantling the interior. You might be tasked with helping to roll up the thick felt floor coverings and pack them into large, sturdy canvas bags. These bags are not just for transport. They also serve as protection from dust and moisture during the journey. You notice the sheer weight of these materials, realizing the strength and coordination required for this routine migration. Next come the wooden furnishings. The small, central stove is carefully cooled and then lifted, its parts secured. The low tables and any stools are folded or disassembled. Everything, absolutely everything, is designed to be portable. There are no heavy, ornate pieces of furniture here. Even the family's treasured possessions, perhaps a small, portable shrine, a musical instrument like the morin kur, horsehead fiddle, or beautifully crafted wooden bowls, are meticulously packed into felt-lined chests. These chests, often painted with traditional designs, are sturdy and surprisingly spacious. Historians still argue about the precise dates of the earliest wheeled vehicles used for nomadic migrations, but the Mongols certainly perfected their use, adapting them to carry their entire homes across vast distances. As the interior is cleared, the felt walls, or birch asterisk, are carefully unfastened from the wooden lattice frame. These felt sections are remarkably thick, providing insulation against both the biting winter cold and the scorching summer heat. You'll feel the rough texture of the wool against your hands as you help fold them into manageable bundles. It's a bit like taking down a very, very large and stubborn tent, but with a lot more felt. And trust me, if you've ever tried to fold a fitted sheet, you'll appreciate the skill involved here. The lattice walls themselves are ingeniously designed to collapse like an accordion. You unfasten the ropes or leather straps that hold them taut, and with a collective heave, the sections fold inward. Then comes the circular roof poles, or uni, which radiate from the central crown wheel. These are carefully detached and stacked. Finally, the magnificent tonneau, the central crown wheel, is gently lowered. This circular piece is not only structurally vital, but also deeply symbolic, representing the connection to the heavens. It's handled with reverence, often being the last piece to be taken down and the first to be put back up. Throughout this process, you'll hear the creak of wood, the rustle of felt, and the soft thud of bundles being secured. There's a quiet camaraderie in the work, a shared rhythm that speaks of years, if not centuries, of repeated movements. Children, even young ones, often assist, carrying lighter items or chasing down stray pieces of rope. It's a lesson in teamwork and responsibility from a very early age. Everyone contributes, and everyone benefits from the efficiency of the collective. You might notice a quirky detail: how carefully the stove's chimney pipe is detached and packed. It's often multi-sectional and fits together perfectly, a minor engineering marvel designed for easy assembly and disassembly. It's a small thing, but it's indicative of the meticulous planning that goes into every aspect of their mobile lives. No loose ends, no wasted space. It's the original flat pack furniture, but for your entire house. By the time the gur is fully disassembled, what was once a comfortable home is now a neat stack of bundles and poles, ready for transport. The circular footprint where the gur stood moments before will be a stark reminder of its presence, a faint indentation on the earth, soon to be erased by the wind and the elements. This ephemeral nature of their homes underscores their profound connection to the land. They leave minimal impact, moving lightly upon the earth, always respecting its resources. It's a truly harmonious existence, one that many modern environmentalists could learn from. With the gur completely disassembled, the open expanse where your home once stood looks stark, almost bare. Now comes the crucial step of loading everything onto the transport animals. This typically involves yaks or sturdy carts pulled by oxen, depending on the terrain and the family's possessions. You begin to appreciate the true weight and bulk of a nomadic household, even one designed for portability. Each bundle of felt, every stack of poles, must be carefully secured to ensure it withstands the journey across uneven terrain. You might be assigned the task of helping to load the felt wall sections onto the back of a sturdy yak. These animals are incredibly strong and sure-footed, perfectly adapted to the harsh conditions of the steppe. Their shaggy coats seem to absorb the bundles, and their calm demeanor is reassuring amidst the organized chaos. You learn the particular knots and lashing techniques used to secure the load, ensuring nothing shifts or falls during the trek. It's an ancient skill, passed down through generations, and mastering it means the difference between a smooth journey and a frustrating delay with scattered belongings. The long, heavy wooden poles that form the gear's framework are usually loaded onto separate carts or sometimes strapped together and dragged along by a single animal, almost like a giant set of stilts. This is where the ingenuity of their design truly shines. They are lightweight enough to be handled manually, but robust enough to support the entire structure. Imagine trying to move a modern prefabricated home every few weeks. It would be an absolute nightmare. Here, it's a practiced art. The most delicate piece, the tonneau or crown wheel, is always handled with exceptional care. It's often placed at the top of a load, well padded and protected, signifying its importance both structurally and culturally. As you carefully lift and position it, you feel its surprising weight and the smooth, worn wood where countless hands have touched it over the centuries. It's more than just a piece of wood. It's the symbolic heart of the home, a connection to the sky and the spiritual world. During this packing process, there's a constant, gentle hum of activity. You hear the creak of ropes, the soft grunts of the animals, and the quiet instructions exchanged between family members. There's no shouting, no frustration, just a calm, collective effort. Everyone works together, a well-oiled machine, each knowing their precise role. Historians still argue about the exact origins of the Mongolian cart, whether it developed independently or was influenced by earlier wheeled vehicles from other cultures. But its design, with large, sturdy wheels and a relatively simple construction, made it perfectly suited for the wide-open steppe. You might notice a quirky detail: how even the smallest items, like cooking pots and bowls, are nested and packed with astonishing efficiency. Every void is filled, every space utilized. It's a masterclass in Tetris, long before Tetris was even a glimmer in anyone's eye. There's no space for unnecessary items. Everything has a purpose and a designated spot for travel. It's a truly minimalist existence, driven by the practicalities of mobility. As the last bundles are secured and the animals are ready to move, you take a moment to look back at the now empty patch of ground. It's a strange feeling, seeing your home disappear and knowing it will reappear elsewhere. It underscores the fluid, impermanent nature of nomadic life, a constant ebb and flow with the seasons and the needs of the herds. But there's also a sense of excitement, an anticipation of new grazing lands, new views, and the continued journey of your family. It's a testament to resilience and adaptability, traits that have allowed these people to thrive in one of the world's most challenging environments for millennia. With the gear packed and secured, the vast steppe stretches before you, an endless canvas under an enormous sky. This is where the true essence of nomadic life reveals itself, the trek. Your family's procession begins to move, a slow, deliberate caravan across the rolling hills and plains. You might find yourself riding at the front, helping to scout the path, or perhaps at the rear, gently urging along any lagging animals. The air is still cool, but the sun is steadily gaining strength, warming your face as you ride. The pace is unhurried, dictated by the slowest members of the herd and the terrain. This isn't a race, it's a migration. You learn to conserve energy, both your own and your horses'. Every step is efficient, every movement purposeful. The sounds are a symphony of the natural world. The soft thud of hooves on earth, the creak of the wooden carts, the distant bleating of sheep, and the ever-present whisper of the wind through the tall grass. It's a meditative rhythm, a deep connection to the ancient pulse of the land. As you travel, your eyes constantly scan the horizon. You're looking for signs, the subtle shift in vegetation that indicates richer grazing, the faint shimmer of a distant water source, or the telltale dust cloud that might signal another nomadic group or, less welcome, a predatory animal. This isn't just a scenic ride. It's an act of constant vigilance, honed over generations. You become intimately aware of the landscape, reading its subtle clues like a book. This intuitive understanding of the environment is a hallmark of nomadic existence. Historians still argue about the precise routes and seasonal patterns of ancient Mongolian migrations, but the fundamental principle remained constant, following the grass and water. This wasn't random wandering. It was a sophisticated system of resource management, ensuring the well-being of the herds, which in turn ensured the survival of the family. It was a perfect dance between human needs and environmental realities, a sustainable way of life long before the concept of sustainability was ever articulated. You might notice a quirky detail during the trek, how the children, even the very young, are remarkably resilient. They might be bundled snugly into baskets on the back of a yak or perched securely on a horse with an older sibling. They rarely complain, having grown up with this constant movement as the norm. For them, the steppe is their playground, the journey their classroom. They learn to identify plants, track animals, and navigate by the sun and stars from a surprisingly young age. It's a hands-on education in survival and self-reliance. During a long day of travel, you might pause for a brief rest, perhaps beside a small stream or a cluster of rocks that offer a moment of shade. This is a chance to let the animals graze, to share a quick snack of arrowel or borts, and to stretch your legs. There's no elaborate picnic setup, just a simple moment of respite before continuing the journey. These breaks are short, just enough to refresh before pushing on. The vastness can feel immense, at times almost overwhelming. You might ride for hours without seeing another human soul, just the endless rolling plains stretching to meet the sky. Yet, paradoxically, you never feel truly alone. You are part of your family, part of the herd, part of an ancient lineage that has traversed these lands for millennia. There's a profound sense of continuity, a connection to a timeless way of life. The silence itself becomes a companion, a soothing presence that allows your mind to wander, to contemplate the immense beauty around you. As the afternoon wears on, the sun begins its slow descent, painting the western sky in hues of orange and purple. Your eyes are now keenly searching for the perfect spot for the night's encampment, a sheltered hollow, a place with good grazing and access to water. The day's journey isn't just about moving. It's about strategically selecting the next temporary home, ensuring comfort and safety for your family and your precious herd. Every decision, no matter how small, is weighted with centuries of ancestral knowledge and a deep understanding of the land. As the sun dips lower, painting the western sky with strokes of deep orange and purple, the gentle rhythmic creak of the carts finally slows to a halt. You've reached the chosen spot, a sheltered hollow, perhaps near a small stream, offering decent grazing for the animals. Now begins the remarkable process of transforming a pile of bundles and poles back into a warm, inviting home. This isn't just setting up camp. It's the meticulous reassembly of your entire world, honed into an art form over countless generations. The first step, and arguably the most crucial, is laying out the wooden floor frame, if one is used, and then the thick felt floor coverings. These provide insulation from the cold ground and a clean, comfortable surface. Then, the circular wooden lattice walls are unfurled, expanding like giant accordions. You and your family members work together, smoothly connecting each section, creating the distinctive circular shape of the GR. It's a bit like building a giant, ancient Lego set, but with much heavier pieces and a far greater sense of accomplishment. You learn to recognize the subtle cues, the way the wood fits together, the precise tension needed in the ropes. Next comes the raising of the central crown wheel, the tonneau. This is often a joint effort, with several strong individuals lifting the heavy, beautifully carved wooden circle into place. The roof poles, or uni, are then inserted into the tonneau at one end and into the top of the lattice walls at the other, fanning out like spokes of a wheel. This creates the domed roof structure, a testament to brilliant engineering. You might feel a surge of satisfaction as the framework takes shape, the skeleton of your home emerging from the flat earth. Historians still argue about the exact origins of this unique structural design, but its efficiency and resistance to the strong step winds are undeniable. With the wooden skeleton in place, the layers of felt insulation are carefully draped over the lattice walls and roof poles. These thick, hand-pressed felts are the gear's primary defense against the elements, providing incredible warmth in winter and keeping the interior cool in summer. You help to secure them with long ropes, crisscrossing them around the gur, pulling them taut to ensure no gaps or drafts. This part is surprisingly meditative, a rhythmic pulling and tying that connects you to the very fabric of your dwelling. It's truly amazing how a few simple materials, wood, felt, rope, can create such a strong and cozy shelter. Finally, the outer canvas cover is pulled over the felt layers, providing an additional layer of protection against rain, snow, and wind. This often lighter canvas can be decorated with traditional patterns, adding a touch of beauty to the functional structure. You then help to install the door frame and hang the sturdy wooden door, usually facing south to welcome the sun and ward off the northern winds. And last but not least, the chimney pipe from the stove is assembled and pushed through the opening in the tonneau, ready to vent the smoke from the evening fire. You might notice a quirky detail: how quickly even young children learn to assist in this process. They might carry smaller poles, hold ropes, or simply retrieve tools. It's a practical education in cooperation and spatial reasoning, far more engaging than any puzzle game. They understand the importance of speed and efficiency. A swiftly erected gur means warmth and safety before the full chill of evening sets in. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting a final, spectacular glow across the steppe, your gur stands proudly, a beacon of home in the vast landscape. The central stove is relit, and the interior quickly begins to warm, filling with the comforting scent of wood smoke. What was an empty patch of ground just a few hours ago is now a cozy, functional home, ready to shelter your family for the night or for several days, depending on the grazing. It's a remarkable transformation, a testament to the resilience and resourcefulness of nomadic life, where home isn't a fixed address, but a feeling that travels with you. With your home reestablished and the stove radiating a comforting warmth, the late afternoon light within the gur softens, inviting a shift in pace. While the animals settle into their new grazing area, there are still essential tasks to attend to. This isn't a time for leisure, but for the quieter, equally vital activities that maintain the household and prepare for the evening. You might be tasked with gathering fuel, ensuring a steady supply of argil for the night and the following morning. This involves venturing out into the nearby surroundings, scanning the ground for the dried animal dung that is your primary energy source. As you walk, you feel the springiness of the steppe grass underfoot, the air still cool but mellowing as the sun continues its descent. It's a peaceful, almost meditative task, one that connects you directly to the land and the animals that sustain your family. You might fill a large woven basket or a sturdy canvas bag with the collected fuel, feeling its surprising lightness. Remember, this isn't dirty work in the way you might imagine. Argil is dry and odorless, a remarkably efficient and sustainable resource in a landscape devoid of trees. It's the ultimate embodiment of a circular economy, long before anyone coined the phrase. You might even chuckle to yourself, imagining the baffled look on a modern city dweller's face if you asked them to gather their own heating fuel. Meanwhile, back at the Gur, others might be engaged in mending equipment. Perhaps a saddle needs repair, a bridle needs tightening, or a tear in a felt wall needs patching. These are not tasks that can be postponed. A broken piece of equipment can have serious consequences on the vast, unforgiving steppe. You'll see skilled hands working with leather, sinew, and simple tools, their movements precise and practiced. There's a deep respect for tools and materials here, born from the necessity of self-reliance. Every item is valued, maintained, and repaired until it can no longer serve its purpose. This isn't a throwaway culture, it's a mend-and-make-do existence, where resourcefulness is a virtue. You might also observe the preparation of hides. Animal skins are not just for clothing or shelter, they are raw materials for everything from ropes to containers. The process of tanning and preparing hides is laborious and time-consuming, but essential. You might see a stretched hide drying in the sun, or someone meticulously scraping a fresh one. Historians still argue about the precise techniques used for tanning hides in ancient Mongolia, but the methods were undoubtedly effective, producing durable materials capable of withstanding extreme conditions. For the women and older children, the afternoon might involve preparing dried foods for storage. Arrowel, dried curd, might be laid out on cloths to harden further in the sun, or borts, dried meat, might be cut and portioned. These are vital provisions for the leaner winter months or for long journeys. Every effort is made to preserve the bounty of the animals, ensuring food security for the family. It's a testament to foresight and planning, a profound understanding of the cyclical nature of their environment. You might notice a quirky tidbit, the surprising array of small, handmade objects scattered around, perhaps a child's toy carved from wood, a beautifully embroidered pouch, or intricate bone carvings. These aren't mass-produced items. They are crafted with care and skill, reflecting the artistry that exists even in a life of constant movement. It's a reminder that even in a harsh environment, the human need for beauty and self-expression finds its outlet. As the sun dips lower, casting long shadows across the newly settled camp, a sense of quiet accomplishment settles over the family. The Gur is warm, the animals are grazing, and the necessary repairs and preparations are underway. There's a tangible feeling of self-sufficiency, a deep satisfaction that comes from knowing you have directly provided for your own needs and those of your family. It's a stark contrast to modern life, where so many of our essential needs are met by anonymous systems. Here, every meal, every warmth, every shelter is the direct result of your collective effort, a profound connection to the very act of living. As dusk begins to settle over the steppe, painting the horizon in deepening hues of twilight, the focus naturally shifts from the outside world back to the warm heart of the Gur, dinner preparations. The stove, now a steady source of heat, will soon become the focal point of culinary activity. You gather around, perhaps taking a seat on a low stool or a comfortable felt mat, watching as your mother or grandmother begins to work her magic with the day's provisions. The evening meal is typically hearty and nourishing, designed to replenish energy after a day of physical exertion and to provide warmth against the encroaching night chill. The staple, as always, is meat. Often, this will be mutton, a prime source of protein. You might observe the skilled hands expertly slicing chunks of meat, preparing it for the pot. Every part of the animal is utilized. There is no waste here. This deep respect for their livestock is not just cultural. It's a practical necessity for survival. One common and deeply satisfying dish is cork hog, though this might be reserved for special occasions or when a larger animal has been freshly slaughtered. For everyday meals, a simpler stew or boiled meat, known as suivan, is more common. This often involves boiling the meat with wild onions, garlic, and perhaps some hand-pulled noodles or simple dough pieces. The rich, savory aroma quickly fills the Gur, a truly comforting scent that promises warmth and satiety. You might notice the gentle bubbling sound as the water simmers, a soothing backdrop to the quiet activity within the GER. Historians still argue about the precise evolution of nomadic cooking techniques, but the emphasis on boiling and stewing is a clear adaptation to a mobile lifestyle where large, complex ovens were impractical. You might be tasked with helping to prepare the vegetables, if any are available. In this arid environment, fresh vegetables are a rarity, often limited to wild leeks, garlic, or a few hardy roots foraged from the steppe. This scarcity makes them particularly prized, adding a subtle flavor and texture to the meat-heavy diet. This isn't your overflowing modern supermarket. Every edible plant found is a small victory. You'll become acutely aware of the land's generosity, however sparse. While the main dish simmers, small tasks continue. Perhaps more suti tsai is brewed, its salty, milky warmth a constant companion. You might see the children helping to prepare arrowol, laying out freshly made curds to dry, or perhaps cleaning the wooden bowls and utensils used throughout the day. It's a seamless continuation of the day's work, flowing naturally into the evening. There's no sudden shift to leisure time as you might know it. Instead, life is a continuous, interconnected stream of purpose. You might notice a quirky tidbit, the precise placement of the cooking pot over the fire. It's often suspended from a hook or placed on a sturdy tripod directly over the central stove, ensuring even heating. This simple but effective method has been used for centuries, a testament to practical design. No fancy induction cooktops here, just raw heat and common sense. It's a reminder of how effective simple solutions can be. As the meal nears completion, the anticipation grows. The gentle aroma, the soft sounds of simmering, and the warmth from the stove all contribute to a feeling of deep comfort and security. When the food is finally ready, it's served in shared bowls, with everyone taking what they need. Eating is a communal experience, a time for quiet appreciation and replenishment. There's a profound satisfaction that comes from consuming food that you know has been directly provided by your animals and the land, prepared with the hands of your family. It's a connection to your sustenance that is often lost in our modern, disconnected world. You eat slowly, savoring each bite, feeling the warmth spread through you, preparing for the quiet peace of the steppe night. As the last of the dinner is savored and the communal bowls are cleared, a shift occurs within the GR. The demands of the day's work recede, and the evening air fills with a different kind of warmth, the warmth of storytelling. This isn't entertainment in the modern sense of flickering screens and passive consumption. It's an active, immersive experience, a vital thread connecting generations and preserving the rich tapestry of Mongolian history and culture. You settle back onto your felt mat, feeling the gentle heat from the stove, and allow yourself to be drawn into the narrative. Often, an elder, perhaps your grandmother or grandfather, will begin. Their voice, weathered by years of sun and wind, takes on a softer, more rhythmic cadence, perfectly suited for the quiet intimacy of the jar. The stories aren't always grand epics of Genghis Khan, though those certainly exist and are revered. Often, they are simpler tales, parables about animals, legends of local spirits, or humorous anecdotes from daily nomadic life. You might hear about a particularly wily wolf, a mischievous marmot, or the surprising wisdom of a humble sheep. These aren't just quaint tales. They often carry moral lessons, teaching about resilience, respect for nature, or the importance of community. The stories are punctuated by the crackle of the fire, the occasional gentle sigh of the wind outside, and the soft murmurs of appreciation from listeners. There's no pressure to perform, no rush to get to the punchline. The narrative unfolds at its own pace, allowing you to visualize the scenes, to truly inhabit the world being described. Your mind, freed from the distractions of modern life, can wander through the ancient steppes, imagine the characters, and feel the emotions of the protagonists. It's a truly immersive experience, a kind of mental journey that can help you drift off. You might hear about the heroic deeds of ancestors, stories passed down orally for countless generations. These tales reinforce the family's lineage, their connection to a proud past, and the values that have sustained them. You learn about famous writers, wise leaders, or even the origins of certain customs or traditions. Historians still argue about the exact historical accuracy of many oral traditions, but their immense cultural significance and their role in preserving identity are undeniable. These stories are the living history of the Mongolian people. One quirky tidbit you might notice is the way the storyteller uses subtle gestures, changes in vocal tone, and even imitations of animal sounds to bring the narrative to life. Their eyes might twinkle with humor, or their voice might drop to a whisper during a suspenseful moment. It's a masterful performance, delivered with the casual expertise of someone who has told these stories countless times, each retelling adding new layers of nuance and warmth. You're not just being told a story, you're being invited into a shared experience. The gentle humor often woven into the tales is a particular delight. It's not boisterous laughter, but a quiet, knowing chuckle that spreads through the GR. Perhaps a story about a particularly foolish shepherd who tries to outsmart a fox, or a grumpy camel with an attitude problem. These moments of levity are a reminder that even in a challenging environment, there's always room for joy and laughter. They connect you to the universal human experience, transcending time and culture. As the stories continue, the world outside fades further away. The only reality is the flickering light from the stove, the comforting presence of your family, and the narrative voice that weaves its spell. You feel a deep sense of belonging, a connection to this ancient way of life that has unfolded for millennia under the same vast, starry sky. The stories are not just about the past, they are about the present, reminding you of the values that guide this nomadic existence and preparing you for the tranquil embrace of sleep. As the stories gently fade into the quiet hum of the gur, the evening is far from over. For nomadic peoples, recreation often blends seamlessly with tradition, and for the Mongols, this means traditional games. These aren't just for children. They are activities that engage all ages, fostering skill, camaraderie, and a connection to ancient practices. While some might settle down to sleep, others may engage in these quiet, yet deeply competitive, pastimes. One of the most revered and iconic Mongolian games, though less common within the gur itself, is archery. On a pleasant evening, or even earlier in the day, you might see family members practicing outside. The bow and arrow were not just tools of war for the great Mongol Empire. They were fundamental to hunting and a skill honed from childhood. Imagine drawing back a powerful recurved bow, the air whistling as the arrow flies true towards a distant target. It requires immense strength, precision, and focus. Historians still argue about the exact evolutionary timeline of the composite bow, but its perfection by the Mongols undoubtedly gave them a significant advantage. This quiet practice, the rhythmic drawing and releasing, can be remarkably meditative. Inside the gur, the games take on a more intimate, less physically demanding form. Mongolian chess, known as shatar, is a popular pastime. It's similar to international chess, but with some key differences in piece movement and board setup. You might watch two elders engaged in a quiet, intense battle of wits, their brows furrowed in concentration. The pieces are often beautifully carved from wood or bone, depicting animals or traditional figures, adding to the aesthetic pleasure of the game. It's a game of strategy, patience, and foresight, reflecting the very qualities needed to thrive on the steppe. It's a wonderful way to wind down the day, engaging the mind without rousing the body. Another common and surprisingly captivating game is ankle bone shooting, or shigai. This involves flicking dried sheep or goat ankle bones, often polished and painted, at targets or other bones, using a small wooden or ivory block. Each bone has 4 distinct sides, resembling tiny animal figures, and their landing position determines points. It's a game of skill and luck, requiring a steady hand and a good eye. You might join in, trying your hand at flicking the bones, feeling the smooth, cool texture against your fingers. It's simpler than chess, but equally absorbing, and often accompanied by quiet laughter and gentle banter. This is not some high-stakes gambling. It's a way to engage, to connect, and to pass the evening hours before sleep. You might notice a quirky tidbit, the significance of the ankle bones themselves. Beyond being game pieces, they are often seen as symbols of luck and prosperity in Mongolian culture, reflecting the central role of livestock in their lives. They are sometimes used in divination or carried as talismans. It's a reminder that even the simplest objects in nomadic life can carry deep cultural meaning. These games, whether physical or mental, serve multiple purposes. They are a way to relax, to bond as a family, and to subtly teach important skills: hand-eye coordination for archery, strategic thinking for chess, and patience for all. They are also a means of passing the time, especially during long winter evenings when venturing outside is not an option. The sounds are soft, the click of bone against bone, the gentle thud of an arrow in a distant target, or the quiet rustle of chess pieces. These sounds, combined with the warmth of the gur and the lingering scent of wood smoke, create a soothing atmosphere, preparing you for the deep rest that awaits. As the games continue, the energy in the gur remains calm, a quiet hum of shared experience. There's no pressure to win, just the enjoyment of the moment and the companionship of family. You feel the rhythms of this life, so different from your own, yet so profoundly human. It's a gentle transition from the active day to the peaceful night, allowing your thoughts to slow, your body to relax, and your mind to drift towards slumber. As the traditional games wind down and the last quiet chuckles subside, a profound shift occurs in the GR. The central stove might be banked down for the night, its glow softening to a gentle ember, casting dancing shadows on the felt walls. The air, though still warm, takes on a deeper stillness. This is the moment for stargazing, not through a telescope or from a light-polluted city, but directly from the open steppe, a spectacle of celestial wonder that has captivated nomads for millennia. You might step just outside the gur, or if the night is particularly cold, simply tilt your head back to gaze through the tonneau, the crown wheel at the very top of your GR. This circular opening, which served as your window to the dawn, now becomes your personal observatory. The sheer number of stars is overwhelming, a dazzling diamond dust scattered across a velvet cloth. Without any light pollution for hundreds, if not thousands, of miles, the Milky Way sprawls across the sky like a shimmering river of light. It's a breathtaking sight, one that instantly makes you feel incredibly small, yet profoundly connected to something immense and ancient. For the Mongols, the stars were not just distant pinpricks of light. They were a living map, a cosmic calendar, and a source of profound spiritual understanding. You might hear an elder quietly pointing out constellations, not by their Western names, but by names that reflect nomadic life. The Seven Mares for Ursa Major, or the North Star, as the unchanging guide for travelers. These aren't just labels, they are stories, weaving together the celestial and the earthly, making the vastness of space feel intimately familiar. You begin to understand why astrology and celestial observation were so crucial to nomadic life. The position of the stars guided their migrations, helped them predict seasonal changes, and even informed important decisions. This wasn't some abstract science, it was practical knowledge, vital for survival. Historians still argue about the exact sophistication of ancient Mongolian astronomical knowledge, but their ability to navigate vast distances purely by the stars is well documented and astonishing. It reminds you that long before GPS, there was a far more profound navigation system in the sky. As you gaze upward, a peculiar sense of calm washes over you. The silence of the steppe is absolute, broken only by the distant murmur of the wind or the occasional rustle of an animal settling for the night. There's a profound sense of peace in this vast, unblemished darkness. You might find yourself searching for shooting stars, or simply tracing the faint outlines of constellations, letting your mind wander through the infinite expanse. It's a natural lullaby, drawing your thoughts away from the day's tasks and towards something eternal. One quirky tidbit you might learn is that for many nomadic cultures, the act of sleeping under the open sky, or with direct sight of it, is considered incredibly beneficial for health and spiritual well-being. It's believed to connect you more deeply to the cosmos, to absorb the pure energy of the universe. So, while you might be thinking about your pillow, they're thinking about cosmic alignment. It's a beautifully simple philosophy that makes perfect sense in this environment. As minutes turn into what feels like a timeless expanse, your eyes grow heavy. The stars seem to twinkle even more brightly, their distant light a gentle invitation to dream. The vastness of the cosmos, which at first felt overwhelming, now feels strangely comforting, like an enormous, silent guardian watching over your peaceful slumber. The rhythm of the night, the quiet breathing of your family within the gur, and the endless expanse above you all conspire to pull you towards the soft embrace of sleep. With the cosmic show fading into your memory, the final preparations for sleep begin. The sounds within the gur become even softer, the movements more deliberate. This isn't a rushed bedtime routine, it's a gradual settling, a quiet winding down of the day's energies. You feel the cool air on your face as the flap covering the tonneau might be drawn closed, or perhaps just partially, leaving a sliver of starlight visible. The embers in the stove cast a soft, pulsing orange glow, their warmth a comforting presence against the cool of the night. You begin to arrange your sleeping furs or felt mats, unrolling them onto the floor. These are thick and insulating, designed to provide warmth and a surprisingly comfortable surface on the firm ground. You might have a small, individual felt blanket, or perhaps share a larger one with siblings, bundling together for extra warmth. There are no pajamas here. You sleep in your deal, perhaps loosening it, or in simple inner garments. It's a practical approach to bedtime, maximizing warmth and minimizing fuss. One of the last things you might do is share a final, quiet sip of warm soothing chai, or perhaps just plain warm water. It's a final gesture of hydration and comfort before the long hours of sleep. The liquid warms your throat and stomach, helping to relax your body. You might hear the soft breathing of your family members already drifting off, their presence a comforting reassurance in the vast quiet of the steppe night. This collective sleep, a huddle of humanity against the elements, is a core part of nomadic life. You might notice a quirky tidbit. The precise way families arrange themselves for sleep within the jar traditionally, the eldest members sleep at the back, furthest from the door, which is considered the most honorable and protected spot. Children and younger family members sleep closer to the entrance. This spatial arrangement isn't just about comfort. It's a subtle reinforcement of family hierarchy and mutual protection. It's a beautiful, unspoken acknowledgement of their roles within the family unit. As you lie down, perhaps on your back, gazing up at the interior of the gur, you become aware of the subtle sounds that define this nocturnal environment. The gentle crackle of the remaining embers in the stove, the soft rustle of felt as someone shifts in their sleep, the rhythmic breathing of your family. These are the natural sounds of your home, deeply comforting and familiar. Outside, you might hear the distant howl of a wolf, a chilling sound, but one that is also a part of the steppe's wild beauty. Or perhaps the gentle murmur of the herd. As the world outside the gur settles into its deepest slumber, so too does your own. The last whispers of the wind against the felt walls become a soft lullaby, the distant bleating of a sheep a faint, comforting echo. You are now entirely enveloped by the quiet intimacy of the gur, a small, warm bubble of life on the vast, silent steppe. Your breathing evens out, slow and deep, mirroring the unhurried rhythm of this ancient land. The gentle glow of the stove's embers has faded to an almost imperceptible warmth, but the memory of its heat lingers, a subtle comfort against the cool air. You are aware of the presence of your family around you, their soft breathing a testament to shared safety and profound trust. There's a distinct sense of security in this communal sleep, knowing that you are not alone against the vastness of the night. This is a sleep earned through physical exertion and mental engagement, a deep, restorative rest that truly recharges your spirit. You might find your mind drifting, not with worries or anxieties, but with the images of the day, the endless expanse of the steppe under the morning sun, the rhythmic thud of your horse's hooves, the satisfying creak of the gur being raised, the savory aroma of dinner, and the gentle voices of storytelling. These memories are not sharp or insistent. They are soft, hazy impressions that gently guide you further into the depths of sleep. There's no external noise to jar you awake, no flashing lights or blaring sirens. Only the natural sounds of the night, if any, that become part of your dreaming landscape. Historians still argue about the precise impact of nomadic life on cognitive function, but the constant engagement with the natural world, the reliance on observation and instinct, and the strong community bonds likely fostered a different kind of mental acuity than modern life. Perhaps this deep, undisturbed sleep was one of the keys to their resilience and adaptability. As you sink deeper, the boundaries between waking and dreaming blur. The familiar textures of the felt, the faint earthy scent of the gur, the subtle shift of your own body, they all dissolve into a peaceful void. You are no longer consciously thinking or analyzing. You are simply existing, floating in a state of profound relaxation. The stillness of the steppe night becomes a part of you, a deep, unwavering silence that allows your mind to truly rest. You can almost feel the gentle pull of the earth beneath you, a profound connection to the very ground that has sustained generations of nomads. The grand, starry sky, though now obscured by the felt roof, is still there, an infinite blanket of peace above your temporary home. This is the ultimate comfort, a deep peace that comes from being perfectly aligned with your environment, living in harmony with the natural world. Now, as your thoughts become less distinct and the world outside the ger fades entirely, allow yourself to fully embrace this tranquility. Let the last lingering images of the steppe melt away, leaving only a sense of profound calm. Your body is heavy, your mind is clear, and the quiet promise of a new dawn on the open plains waits for you. Drift now into that peaceful darkness, knowing you are safe, warm, and utterly at rest.